Have you ever wondered why some people stay calm under pressure while others crumble? They might be practicing a philosophy called Stoicism, which includes a technique known as negative visualization. Stoicism, a philosophy born in ancient Greece, teaches us to accept the world as it is without complaint or wishful thinking. It's about understanding and embracing the fact that life is filled with ups and downs, and that we should remain steady and unswayed like a rock in the midst of a stormy sea. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, our actions and responses rather than what we cannot, the world around us. Now you might be wondering, what does all this talk about ancient philosophy have to do with staying calm under pressure? Well, that's where negative visualization comes in. This is a technique used by Stoics to help cultivate a sense of gratitude and maintain a calm mind in the face of adversity. Negative visualization, at its core, is the practice of imagining worst-case scenarios. It's about picturing losing what we have, whether it's our health, our jobs, or our loved ones. It sounds a bit grim, doesn't it? But in reality, it's a powerful tool that can help us to better appreciate what we have right now, in this moment. By contemplating the potential loss of what we hold dear, we allow ourselves to truly value these things while they are still within our reach. This practice, in turn, helps us to reduce anxiety about the future. After all, if we've already thought about the worst that could happen and accepted it as a possibility, there's nothing left to fear. So in essence, negative visualization is a tool to help us appreciate the present moment and reduce our fears about the future. It's a practice that encourages us to be content with what we have, rather than always striving for more and fearing loss. It's a way to stay calm under pressure, to be resilient in the face of adversity, and to live a life of gratitude and contentment. Now that we understand what negative visualization is, let's delve into its power and potential. Negative visualization, this seemingly paradoxical Stoic practice, can actually serve as a powerful tool for building resilience. Imagine, for a moment, losing your job. The immediate reaction for most is panic and fear. However, by visualizing this scenario ahead of time, we can prepare ourselves mentally for the possibility, reducing the shock and despair that such an event may bring. In the same vein, consider the unthinkable. Losing a loved one. Heart-wrenching, isn't it? Yet, Stoic practitioners believe that by periodically contemplating such a dreadful event, we become less fearful of its occurrence and more appreciative of the time we have with our loved ones now. Negative visualization isn't about fostering a pessimistic outlook on life. Quite the contrary, it is about fostering gratitude and resilience. When we constantly remind ourselves of the impermanence of our circumstances, we learn to appreciate what we have in the present moment. It's like switching on a spotlight in a dark room. Suddenly, everything you have is illuminated and you see your life in a new light. This practice also arms us with the mental fortitude to handle life's inevitable adversities. It's akin to a fire drill, preparing us for the real thing. By visualizing worst-case scenarios, we're essentially training our minds to deal with hardship and change. We become less susceptible to the whims of fate and more capable of navigating life's tumultuous seas with grace and courage. Negative visualization, then, is a form of mental conditioning, a way to toughen up our emotional resilience. It's about embracing the full spectrum of life, the good and the bad, the joy and the sorrow. And in doing so, we learn to weather life's storms, not with fear, but with understanding, acceptance, and an unshakable calm. By picturing the worst, we learn to value what we have and become more resilient in the face of adversity. Before we move further into our exploration of negative visualization, a quick reminder. If you're finding value in this exploration of the Stoic practice of picturing the worst-case scenarios, why not share it? It's as simple as hitting that subscribe button, giving this video a like, and passing it on to someone you think might benefit from it. Remember, each subscription, like, and share makes a huge difference. They help us continue to delve into topics like this one, shedding light on the practical applications of Stoic practices in our daily lives. So if you've been enjoying this journey into the heart of Stoicism and its powerful techniques like negative visualization, don't keep it to yourself. Share the knowledge, spread the wisdom, and help us build a community that understands and appreciates the value of Stoicism. All right, let's dive back into our exploration of negative visualization in Stoicism. Let's now discuss how you can incorporate negative visualization into your everyday life. This Stoic practice is not as daunting as it might first appear. In fact, it's as approachable as it is beneficial, and it starts with setting aside a little bit of time each day. Think of it like savoring a cup of tea or coffee in the morning. You wouldn't rush through it, would you? The same applies to negative visualization. Allow yourself a few quiet moments, free from distractions. This could be when you wake up during a lunch break or before you sleep. The key is consistency. Make it a daily habit. Now, where to start? Well, you don't have to dive into the deep end right away. Begin with small, less intimidating scenarios. Let's say, imagine losing a cherished item or missing the bus. How would that feel? What would you do? The point here isn't to frighten you, but to prepare you, to equip you with the ability to handle such situations with grace and calm should they arise. Here's a simple anecdote to illustrate. Picture a man who every day imagines misplacing his keys. At first, it's a discomforting thought, but as he continues this practice, he finds himself becoming increasingly mindful of where he places them. And on the day when he does actually misplace his keys, he doesn't panic. He simply retraces his steps and, more often than not, finds them. Remember, negative visualization isn't about cultivating fear or anxiety, quite the opposite. It's about fostering gratitude for what we have and resilience for whatever comes our way. It helps us appreciate the fleeting nature of things, making us cherish them more. It also prepares us to face potential setbacks with equanimity. So go ahead, carve out a little time each day, start small, and gradually expand your scenarios. You'll be surprised at how this simple Stoic practice can lead to a more contented and resilient life. Remember, the goal isn't to dwell on the negative, but to use it as a tool for gratitude and resilience. As we come towards the end of our journey today, let's summarize what we've learned. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that originated from Greece, teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to accept what isn't. It's about finding tranquility in the face of adversity. And one of the ways we can cultivate this is through the practice of negative visualization. Negative visualization, as we've discovered, is a powerful tool in the Stoics' arsenal. It involves picturing worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to better appreciate what we have right now. By imagining the loss of our possessions, our loved ones, or even our own lives, we can foster a deep sense of gratitude for the present moment. The benefits of this practice are manifold. It encourages us to live in the present, to value what we have, and to not take anything for granted. It can help us to remain calm in the face of adversity, to manage our expectations, and to prepare ourselves for future challenges. It's a powerful antidote to the sense of entitlement and dissatisfaction that can so often pervade our modern lives. However, like any tool, negative visualization must be used wisely. It's not about becoming fixated on the negative or falling into a spiral of pessimism. Instead, it's about using these imagined scenarios to bring perspective, to foster appreciation, and to build resilience. So how can we incorporate this practice into our daily lives? It's simpler than you might think. Start by setting aside a few moments each day to engage in this exercise. Picture a scenario where you lose something you value. Feel the emotions that come with this loss. Then let it go. Return to the present moment and feel the gratitude for still having this thing or person in your life. Remember, this isn't about dwelling on the negative, but about using it to appreciate what we have. The more we practice, the more natural it will become, and the more we'll start to see the world through the lens of gratitude and resilience. In conclusion, Stoicism and the practice of negative visualization can be powerful tools in our pursuit of tranquility and resilience. They teach us to focus on what is within our control, to accept what isn't, and to appreciate what we have in the here and now. Thank you for taking the time to explore Stoicism and the practice of negative visualization with us today. Remember, it's not about focusing on the negative, but rather using it to appreciate the present and build resilience for the future.